Hey guys, how's it going today? So it's been a while. I haven't really put up anything up on my channel lately. So got a few suspension things to take care of today. So let's just quickly go ahead and have a look at some of that stuff here. So I already got the car up here on the hoist. So let's have a quick look here. Anyway, so there we go. Car's up on the hoist, and let's have a look at what we got here. So we got a handful of BMR goodies. I'm going to go ahead and split this up here into two videos. We're going to go ahead and start off with the K-member brace right off the bat. So yeah, let's just jump into that. This one should be a really quick, easy install. So we'll just quickly look at that and get it going. So the front chassis brace, pretty straightforward install. It comes here with two bolts, two spacers, two nuts, and a set of washers that are going to go on the ends here. So let's have a quick look underneath. Okay, so we're up under the car. Obviously got it already jacked up. So basically right here, your lower control arms, we're going to end up by removing the bolt basically here and this one here, and then we're going to end up by attaching the brace through here. So that should be pretty simple. So let's go ahead and just set the camera up here, and we'll have a quick look at what I'm doing. All right, so we're underneath the car here. So the instructions called this bolt here a 24 mil. I mean, whatever, mine's not, it's a 21, I guess, different year or whatever it is. So if you don't have air tools, obviously just get your ratchet and crank this out. Bolt slides out, and we'll go ahead and do the one on the other side here as well. Now, what may happen to you here is if your control arm moves in or out, obviously the alignment right here for the bolt is going to be out, but you can just push the wheel in or out, if you need someone to help you. But just in case it slides out of the way, shouldn't be a big deal there. Okay, so one thing to note here. So basically, just make sure this is on camera. So this is the bushing that we're going to be installing into here, but we're going to be using the bolt basically through this hole here. Now, one thing I did notice on my car on both, so there is a hole up top here, but the piece of metal that they pushed in for the hole is still inside my brace. So when I go to install this, it won't go down there because the metal's in there. So I'm gonna have to just maybe get a screwdriver and sort of pry that away. So it might be something you might see on your car. All right, so let's just see if I can get that piece out here. So I can feel it right in there, and just sort of working it back and forth. And there it is, it fell out. So basically, this is the pressed or stamped or whatever metal that was still in there. So you could see where it was sort of just holding on there. It was blocking me. So anyways, basically both sides have that on mine. So just be aware if you have that, why it's not going in or something, that might be the reason. So let's just go ahead and take care of that other side as well. Okay, so now that I got those little pieces of metal broken away, we're going to insert this. So all we're going to do is we're just going to put it in and basically slide it down with our fingers and just sort of line it up so the bolt can come through. So mine's actually, now that I'm just doing it here, it's actually resistant. It doesn't look like it wants to slide all the way back enough. So I may have to just lightly pry that in there. I'll just leave it for now and just see how the fitment is when we go to install it. All right, so basically the same thing as the top side of this hole here is that piece of metal slag is also inside on this one as well. So I couldn't put my bushing back. So that makes sense. So I'm just pried it back there a little bit, and I'm gonna see if I can hook it from underneath here. It's right here. Maybe I pushed it down too far, but kind of a pain. Oh, there you go, it broke off. So now you're probably definitely gonna wanna fish that out of there. You end up by getting some sort of rattle from that or whatever, you're gonna be annoyed. So let me just see if I can, I'm gonna fish around in there with my fingers and maybe a magnet or whatever, and we'll try and locate that. All right, so basically after a little bit of fighting, sure enough, I found another one of these. So that would have been for the bottom piece, and there was one at the top, so it makes sense why I couldn't get that to go in. So now we'll just basically put the spacer in and just work it through with your fingers. And sure enough, yeah, it's not perfect, but it's definitely better than it was. It seems to be able to move around. It's actually fairly snug, so that's pretty good. So it won't have to crush very much, or won't crush, I guess, when you put it together. So we'll go ahead and throw the spacers here in both sides. I already went ahead and removed that piece of metal from the other side. So we got the spacer in here. So let's just line that one up there, and perfect, there we go. Now we're ready to put the brace up inside. All right, so seeing as though I'm working alone, I'm gonna go ahead. So I basically got, put one of the flat washers on, got them on both sides. Just gonna go ahead and drop that through on both sides here. You know, it might be a little easier if you had an extra set of hands, but you know, whatever, I'm sure it's not the end of the world. So we're gonna take the brace and we're gonna put it up over top. And these might be in your way, but at least you can kind of semi-get it there to hold it while you put one of the washers and nuts on so you don't drop it. So there we go. Slide that in there. And a little bit tight. But we'll just put this on loosely here. And I'm not going to tighten this up because the more important bolt is that front control arm bolt. Obviously we want to make sure there's nothing wrong there. Get those in, no cross threading, no nothing. We don't want any trouble there. All right, so we got the brace up there, sitting up in there. So we got our main big bolts. We're going to go ahead and obviously just reinstall these back through the hole. Mine are still lined up, so I didn't have to, you know, no fighting there. Just going to get your socket here and make sure we hand start these to make sure, like I said, no cross threading or anything like that. It's a fairly big bolt, thick thread. It shouldn't fight you. If you're having any troubles, you might, you know, check your alignment, move it in and out, whatever it may be. So this one's in, and I already went ahead and installed the one on the other side here. So I'm going to go ahead and tighten these down. In the instructions there from BMR, it has the foot-pounds at these basically 184 foot-pounds. So let's just go ahead and get those tightened and torqued down. All right, so I basically got everything lightly snugged down there with the gun. We're going to go ahead and start torquing everything down, like I said. So they got these front ones here at 184 and these ones here at 100. And the instructions does say to remove the wheels. I mean, I haven't had any problems, but this may be a time where it actually may come into play here. So I'm just going to go ahead and basically crank these down. Oh, my torque wrench turned off. Let me just turn this back on here. 184, there we go. And yeah, nothing too special to see here. Let's just get these all torqued down. All right, and then for these lower bolts here, we got 100 foot-pounds. Whoops, wrong socket. Switch that up here, 15/16 top and bottom. So we're gonna go ahead and torque these to 100. Well, there you have it. So we got that brace installed. All in all, I mean, it's, you know, really simple, pretty just, you know, like doing jacking rails or whatever it is. This is definitely something you could tackle at home in your driveway. You don't need to pay anyone to do anything like this. So basically here we go. So I mean, we got it bolted up there, obviously we got it bolted back in there, and yeah, I mean, this should you know, it should really add some rigidity. I mean, I've read some other reviews of people saying that you know, it was definitely noticeable in you know, hard cornering and braking and that kind of stuff. So anyways, so we're going to move on to the rear suspension stuff that I got. Once I get that done, I'll add a link into the video up here. And yeah, so that's basically all we got for this one here. Thanks for watching.